Community groups in Michigan and Minnesota say they're rejecting federal funding for programs to combat recruitment efforts by terrorist organizations. Those states have large Muslim populations which have been targeted in recruiting efforts from the Islamic State and other extremist groups. A number of organizations have popped up to counter that message, but some, citing the president's past comments on Islam and the recent travel ban, say they don't want the government's help. A Somali youth group in Minneapolis called Ka Joog is turning down $500,000. In a statement last week, the group said, "We are deeply troubled by our nation's new administration and their policies which promote hate, fear, uncertainty, and even worse, an unofficial war on Muslim Americans and immigrants." Mohamed Farah is executive director of Ka Joog. He's with us from Minneapolis. Mohamed, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
First of all, help us understand what your organization does and why you're rejecting this funding.
Yes, so Ka Joog is actually a Somali youth development organization founded in 2007, headquartered in Minneapolis, and really our main purpose is to make sure that not only young people are graduating from high school, but that they are attaining higher degrees. And we do this through arts and education. And the reason that my board of directors declined this funding, $500,000, is really, it all came down to principle. You know, $500,000 is a lot of money, especially if you are a nonprofit. But at the end of the day, you know, we work with immigrants, we work with refugees, we work with Muslims. And we believe that this new administration is against everything that we stand for. And so for that reason, we decided to really alienate ourselves from the ideologies that are coming from this administration.
You use that word alienate. I want to point out this rhetoric in your press statement of an quote-unquote unofficial war against American Muslims. Does that kind of rhetoric only raise the temperature, you think?
No, definitely not. I mean, this is exactly what's going on at the White House. I mean, what they're doing is they're eliminating, or they are trying to push aside a certain sector, you know, of Americans, and we should not be doing that. This is the time to build trust. This is a time to build relationship. And so, you know, any common sense individual or any common sense organization would have done the same thing that, you know, the decision that we made, because again, you know, we should not be alienating any group. And so because of that, you know, we want to resist what the administration is doing. We want to alienate ourselves from you know, these executive orders that are taking place by the president.
At the same time, Mohamed, as you know, in the past several years, the Justice Department has charged more than 20 people in Minnesota in relation to Al-Shabaab and at least 10 for supporting the Islamic State. Is this the right time to reject funding that would help fight recruiting?
You know, and that's fine. But however, we're talking about a very small number of individuals compared to the population of Muslims across this nation. What we need to be doing today, what the administration needs to be doing, is build relationship. They need to be building trust. But right now, what we're hearing from this president, what we're hearing from this administration is division and really creating chaos throughout this nation. And we're not, Ka Joog is not about that. We're here to resist everything that this president is stand for, and that's why we're saying, you know, to take your money back, because I think we can do better by working with people that are like-minded across this nation.
Well, the immigration ban is on hold right now. Would you reconsider your position if that executive order continues to be blocked?
No, not necessarily, because this particular administration and this president came in with a certain idea, with certain ideologies, and those ideologies is what he's going through, what we're seeing right now, and those ideologies are to divide this nation, to divide the American public. And you know, we're very happy with what the judge did over in Washington, and we're hoping that this this continues, that the judge continues to stop this executive order. But at the end of the day, we will not stand with this president, we will not stand with this administration as long as they are dividing the American people.
All right, Mohamed Farah, thanks very much for your perspective. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.